Hello, everyone. This is going to be a discussion here in preparation kind of for a making of. So the making of is not going to be the making of the video. This is going to be about making of some of the questions that are going to be around basically 390 facts. And they're not going to be math facts, but they're going to be facts in general. And so what I'm going to do here, there's a lot of background to this. It goes all the way back, I think, to 1970, around 72, when I had a slide rule and an incredible science teacher and an incredible math teacher, Mrs. Link and Mr. Roloff, amongst others. I did not have such a great art teacher. And I had a music teacher who tried. So that's my own baggage, and we bring our baggage from the past to our kids. So I've got a daughter here, two great kids. One is 16, one is 13, and part of this premise is the website built on some basically rules they got to have or things they got to know as I hold the keys out to them for the cars that my wife and I manage. And so the 390 facts will be built on all kinds of things. They generally comes in groups of 13, but I'm going to go through using the Khan Academy kind of the framework to build up these quizzes, so in fact my kids can prove that they know these 390 math facts. Facts. And so we're going to go backwards. We're going to, go backwards to some of the science and then back to the math. So I'm going to go backwards here. The math is a lot more than a 13, but knowing these things is part of my shtick. E, I, that's not the unit vector I, that's something to know too, but the imaginary number I, EI, pi, minus 1, 0, 1, Pythagorean's number, the square root of 3, the square root of 5, not so important except for that it goes into phi. I'm going to write that out because some people see the empty phi. Square root of 3, infinity, a matrix, all kinds of different ways to do, and a vector, all kinds of different ways to write. I'm going to see if that's 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 13 things. Going backwards, if you would, or not so much backwards, but where did I come up with 13 things? Who knows? It turns out to be a picture and whatever else. But I'm going to go to kind of derived units, and these aren't all of them, but these are the 13 derived units or important units, and we ended up with angular displacement. I'm going to do an edit undo here. We ended up with specific gravity, angular displacement, some distance, an area, a volume, a mass, force, work or energy, power, pressure, torque, density, and unit weight. Again, 13 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Now we go back to realistically where it all starts in some way, shape, or form. Some of the math, not all the math, the derived unit starts in the 7 things. So the 7 things or 7 standards. And I'm going to talk about distance, mass, time, temperature, current, luminosity, and moles. And what's an odd one in here is that there is no angle, because basically a full revolution is a full revolution. You don't need a standard. Think about a dancer who is spotting across the room. She sees her eyes to a spot. She turns around 360 degrees or 2 pi radians or 24 hours of right ascension. Whatever she turns, or 400 grads, she looks back to the same spot. So there is no necessity for a standard for angle. So finally ending up here, on one of the big themes here is to make our minds and our kids and ourselves bimensural. Yes, I understand that maybe not be a word that you're used to seeing. That means that they know metric, and they also know what we'll call imperial. Somewhat standard. One is more standard than the other. And so we'll end with that. Distance is meters, distance. And you can see that distance comes in a lot of these. It comes into the radial vector, to the area, to the volume, as they're the first, second, and third powers of distance. The fourth power being the second moment of the area. All kinds of different things key into this. What students should get pretty early is that all physical units can be brought back to these things there. Distance, mass, time, temperature, current, luminosity, moles. Distance is either going to be meters, and we'll talk about feet here. There are other standards, but distance, mass, is either going to be kilograms, it's the odd one, or slugs. Distance, mass, time is the same, seconds. Temp is basically Kelvin, and really it could be thought of Kelvin here, but you could be Rankine. Current, temperature, current, is amperes, A-M-P, A-M-P, amperes. Luminosity is candela, and moles is moles. So in reality, building up the 7 and really realizing that you really only have a couple that you've really got to know in both systems, and you can build things up into things like foot-pounds per second for power, which eventually becomes horsepower if you divide by 550, all kinds of stuff. So there it is, 7 minutes. Terrible board work, and I'll fix the board work on the next bit. So the concept is now, how long will it take me to build a set of Khan Academy type quizzes using the Khan Academy exercise framework. Khan Academy exercise framework. Developed by John Ressig and lots of others. A lot of people named Ben. How long will it take for me to make something that I can start heading my daughters towards 390 facts, which are somewhat testable and approachable, and that they can recurse to. They can go back and recheck themselves. So we'll start now with the math based on some discussion. We're going to work backwards. So this is going to be more than one. In the end, there's different ways to do this. One of the ways, lots of definitions of E. I does lots of different things. Pi comes up all the time. -1 as well as a flip. 0, the additive identity. 1, not only 1, maybe the spin-off of 1, the identity matrix in n space. A 2 by 2 or a 3 by 3 or an n by n identity matrix, tying into things like eigenvectors and eigenvalues. Pythagorean's number. You could go on forever with Pythagoras. Square root of 3, that's just kind of one of those convenient things that comes up when you do 30 and 60 degrees. Square root of 5 is only here because the golden ratio is the average of 1 and the square root of 5. Infinity, of course, 1 over almost 0 is infinity. Or better yet, the tangent of 90 degrees is almost infinity. Call it undefined if you will. A matrix. We're talking at this point about algorithms as much as algebra, and how the matrix and the vector tie all this together. Of course, all of this is underlined by the one, or not one, by a set of equations, but one, of course, being Euler's equation, e to the I x equals cosine of x plus I times the sine of x. That helps us to tie lots of these things together as we go from pure physical things to electrical, magnetic. This continually comes up. That's a lot. That's probably good 80 questions. We'll see how we do timing-wise. Thanks for listening, and comment and tell me how bad this is, and make perhaps a better one and post it. Thanks.